Good evening. Thank you for joining us. My name is Tracy Craig, and I'll be moderating tonight's meeting. This is Alameda County Department of Environmental Health's community meeting on the proposed cleanup plan for the 1232 High Street project in Oakland. We have a Spanish interpretation tonight, and I'm going to pause and let my colleague, John Fermani, provide instructions to anyone that wants to participate in Spanish. John?
Good evening, everyone. If you'd like to participate in Spanish, we'll be turning on the interpretation feature shortly. To access the interpretation, you can click on the globe
Yeah,
icon.
John, it's really hard to hear you. So maybe start again and
Can you
closer.
hear me better?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
Thank you.
sorry about that. So for language interpretation, you can click on the globe icon that should be at the bottom of your screen. If you are participating via phone, you may need to click on 3 dots to find the globe icon. Once you've clicked on that, you should see 2 options for English or Spanish, and you can click on the language of your choice. If you wish, you can mute the original audio by clicking on that button as well. And I'll let one of our Spanish interpreters translate that into Spanish for us real quick.
Buenas tardes. Pronto vamos a iniciar la función de interpretación. Quienes deseen escuchar la interpretación deberán ir a la parte inferior de la pantalla donde encontrarán el icono que dice Interpretation y allí podrán elegir el idioma de su preferencia, inglés o español. Si están participando desde un teléfono celular, deberán buscar los 3 puntos y allí buscar el botón de interpretación y los idiomas inglés o español. Y si desean escuchar solamente la interpretación sin el original, deberán optar por la instrucción silenciar audio original.
Okay, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Again, my name is Tracy Craig. I'll be moderating tonight's meeting. This is Alameda County Department of Environmental Health's community meeting on the proposed plan to clean up contamination in soil and soil gas, which is the air spaces between grains of soil at the 1232 High Street site in East Oakland. The purpose of the meeting tonight is to provide an overview of the proposed cleanup plan, answer any questions, and accept public comments from the public. We do not have any public attendees tonight, but we are going to go ahead and record this meeting and go through our presentation. And that way, if anybody at a later date wants to know what's going on, we can refer them to this meeting, which will be uploaded to YouTube. So a couple logistics first. This meeting is a webinar and it is being recorded. With a webinar, if we had any attendees, we couldn't see you or we can't see you. Wait, did I get that right? No, I did not. Forgive me. With a webinar, you have no audio or video privileges. So to ask a question, you'd have to raise your hand, but I'm going to skip through that because we don't have any attendees tonight. Next slide, please, John, with the agenda. Thank you. No, can we go back to the agenda, John? Thank you. So this is our agenda for tonight. Quickly, I'll go through some introductions. We'll go through a site overview, discuss the corrective action plan, which is the proposed cleanup, talk about measures that will be taken to protect the community during the 1 to 2 week cleanup project, and then accept public comments. We are in the middle of a public comment period for the proposed cleanup plan. That public comment period started on November 27th and ends on January 5th. We've added a couple extra days for the holidays. To that end, members of the public can comment tonight, or you can send an email to the Alameda County Department of Environmental Health, or also send a letter via U.S. mail. And we have a slide that details how to provide public comments at the end of this presentation. And next slide, please. So first, I'd like to go ahead and introduce our team tonight. So with Alameda County, we have Noel Liner, who's the case manager. Noel, will you please raise your hand? And he'll be giving the majority of the presentation. Also, I want to discuss, we don't have a representative from the City of Oakland, but the City of Oakland does approve permits to allow construction once the site has been remediated. We'll also be, as part of the project team, will be the Bay Area Air Quality Management District. Then if you have complaints during the construction itself, you can always call us, or you can call the Bay Area Air Quality Management District, and the number's there. Next slide, John. Okay. And then we have the property owner, which is Clear Sky Capital, and we have several people from there, and you can just read the names yourself. We also have P&D Environmental, that is the environmental consultant for Clear Sky Capital. We have Geokinetics, they're a consultant preparing part of the cleanup plan as well. We have Story and Severson, which will be the actual contractor. And then Craig Communications, we're helping with community outreach. It's Tracy Craig and then John Fermani. Okay, so very quickly, I'd just like to orient future viewers. The site is located at the corner of East 12th Street Place and 44th Avenue. It's highlighted in blue here, and that's in East Oakland. And quick overview, as I said, the property owner is here listening today. Property owner plans to redevelop the site as a storage, self-storage facility. Very important to note that the property owner did not contaminate this site, but is voluntarily cleaning it up to support redevelopment. There is lead found in shallow soils, and some benzene and chlorinated solvents are found in soil gas, again, the air spaces between grains of soil. The Alameda County Department of Environmental Health oversees cleanup of underground contamination. Purpose of this meeting tonight is solely to discuss the proposed cleanup. This is not about redevelopment of the property. And with that, I'd like to hand it over to Noel, who will go through site investigations, proposed cleanup plan, and community protection measures. Noel?
Good evening. There have been several site investigations conducted on this site, around half a dozen, I seem to recall, starting in 2014 to the present, to evaluate the impacts to the subsurface from this historical land use. There was multiple historical land uses on the site, from starting as an automobile service station, blacksmith shop, battery shop, paint store, and several other businesses, including mattress factory, etc., that would have caused potential impacts to the subsurface from releases from these former site uses. Those investigation findings have found lead in shallow soil up to approximately 3 feet below the ground surface at levels that would require cleanup, and low concentrations of benzene, tetrachloroethene, which is PERC PCE, used as a cleaning agent, and has some breakdown product, vinyl chloride, in soil vapor at pretty low levels. And groundwater does not seem to have been impacted at this site from these constituents. This figure here shows the site, which is outlined in blue. This is the footprint of the redevelopment. There are some former structures shown on the site in the black hatch. Some of the former structures within this blue outline include the former automobile service station, which would have been on the lower portion of the site, where it shows a former dispenser location, former underground storage tanks, and in the upper portion of the site was a former blacksmith. There was also some auto repair on this site. For the rest of this block, there have been other site uses that also required investigation, and these black dots and other dots scattered about on this figure represent locations where soil has been sampled, or groundwater has been sampled, or soil vapor has been sampled during the various investigations to determine the impacts on the site from the former site uses. So the corrective action plan is available on GeoTracker and is the subject of this discussion tonight. That plan is in draft format and it's available for comment, public comment, to which we would respond if there are technical comments to the plan. That plan summarizes the investigation findings. It proposes the broad outlines of how the contamination of soil and soil vapor will be remediated. That will include excavation of the lead contaminated soil. It will include installation of a vapor barrier and venting system to address the potential vapor intrusion issues related to the benzene and PCE and vinyl chloride and soil vapor. That corrective action plan also includes community protection measures that will include air monitoring and dust monitoring during the soil excavation, and as well truck traffic control plan. So those impacts will be mitigated to the local community. And of course, we will address public comments before the corrective action plan receives final approval. That public comment period has extended through January 5th. So you have until that time to respond to the CAP, either by email. You could give us a phone call. You can contact Tracy Craig Communications and provide comments to the corrective action plan. So the primary corrective action is proposed soil excavation. This is to remove lead impacted soil, which has been found to a depth of around 3.5 feet throughout probably about 1/3 of the site footprint. That will be removed first. It will be loaded into trucks and it will be taken to a disposal facility that is permitted to receive lead contaminated soil. Following the removal of the lead contaminated soil, those excavations will be backfilled. And prior to the construction of the building, crushed rock will be placed below the slab foundation. And within that crushed rock, there will be several vent pipes such that any vapors that emanate from the ground surface will become trapped underneath the building and then vented through the pipes up to the roof line, so they will not go in the building. During the remediation, there will be community air monitoring conducted. This air monitoring will be conducted by the environmental consultant, P&D Environmental, Paul King, who is on this call. There will be real-time air monitoring during the removal of the lead impacted soil to verify that there are no impacts to the community. This monitoring will be in accordance with the Bay Area Air Quality Management District requirements. And those action levels are for protection of the surrounding community members. There are also actions to stop dust from leaving the construction site, which will include watering and temporarily stopping work as needed. Those actions will be implemented in the event any visible dust is seen leaving the site where there are sustained winds beyond 20 miles an hour. The bright yellow boxes on this figure indicate where the perimeter air monitoring locations will be. These locations are not stationary. They may be moved during the duration of the soil removal based upon the wind direction. However, this figure shows in general where they will be located. We do not expect that there will be groundwater management at this site. Groundwater is significantly deeper here than what the excavation will be advanced to, because that excavation will only be a few feet deep. For the soil, when it is being loaded into the trucks, it will not be stockpiled on the site. It will be loaded directly into trucks. And that soil will be watered with a mist or a spray, as shown in the figure on the upper right. That will prevent dust from becoming airborne and moving off the site. Further dust mitigation measures will be cleaning truck tires with rumble plates, such as the one in blue on the lower right, with the white and red truck driving over it to shake the dust off the truck tires. The undercarriages and tires will be cleaned before these trucks leave the site. It should be noted that these trucks will be staged in the parking area that is covered in asphalt. And as such, that will also help to keep dust to a minimum from having the truck tires covered with dirt. Any track out onto the surrounding city streets, if there is any, would be cleaned with a wet sweeper. Now, this remediation will take place over the winter months. So there will be stormwater management controls, which are shown in the middle picture as an example. And this is to keep any contaminated material or any dirt from leaving the site in stormwater and entering the storm drain system. Anyone who has concerns or feels as if they are being impacted can call numbers that will be posted on signs surrounding the site on the fence. Because this site has a large parking area, there will not need to be parking on adjacent residential streets. Consistent with the Bay Area Air Quality Management District requirements, trucks will idle for longer than 5 minutes at a time. All trucks will be covered upon leaving the site, so dust does not emanate from the back of the truck. There is a tire washing station on the site to prevent track out. And of course, the trucks will be regularly inspected to assure that they are in good condition. There is a city-approved truck route that will minimize travel through residential streets. So it will be the most direct route from the site to the nearest adjacent freeway.
Great, thank you, Noel. It's important to Alameda County that the community knows what's going on. So as Noel said, we will have site signage with numbers that you can call. On that will be my phone number, my cell number. You can call me immediately if there's an issue. Also, the Bay Area Air District will be on there as well as Alameda County. We'll also be distributing a work notice to our neighbors around the site 1 week prior to the work starting so that you'll know to expect it. And finally, all of our environmental reports, including the corrective action plan that you can comment on this evening, and the air monitoring results that will be done during the work, will be uploaded to the Water Board's website, which is GeoTracker, and we have a link to that in the upcoming slide. Okay, so our schedule, again, we're in the middle of the public comment period, which ends on January 5th. Alameda County will review all of the comments received and then make a decision on the document. Okay, we will issue a formal response to comments. To anybody that comments, we'll send you a formal response, how your comment was considered in Alameda County's decision making. Again, we'll distribute the work notice 1 week before work starts. We believe the environmental cleanup will start in mid-February and will last 1 to 2 weeks. Work hours are sanctioned by the City of Oakland, and those are 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., with work expecting also to occur on Saturdays from 8 to 4. Next slide, please. Okay, we would really love to hear from the public, so if you do have any comments, you're welcome to email Noel. His email is right here. You can also call him on the phone, and again, you can send comments via U.S. mail if you so choose. Okay, so for more information, this presentation, along with a link to this video and the corrective action plan, will be uploaded to the GeoTracker website right there. And my name is Tracy Craig. You can call me at any time if you can't access GeoTracker or you have any questions. You can reach me on my cell, which is 510-334-4866. And that concludes our presentation for tonight. Again, we don't have any attendees, so I am going to end this now. John, will you stop the recording? And thank everybody for their time. Good night.